Here on YouTube now. Thanks for joining, everyone. John here, senior software engineer with 10 years of experience. I'm also the lead maintainer of Latterly.io, which is an open source educational platform and social networking platform to help you land your first or next programming role. You can sign up for free and unlock cool stuff starting at $1 a month. You can also come join the Discord for free, drop down under the community tab. Today, we are talking about building a better resume. So here's my LinkedIn. And I'm going to walk you through the approach to the resume that I have, and then I'm going to walk you through the problems and a proposed solution. And then we're going to try to build that proposed solution. And I'll explain why I'm like building my own solution instead of using some third-party tool. Okay, so the current approach is that we go to my LinkedIn, and my LinkedIn is my source of truth on my career data. So, you put in your experience and your education and your certs and all that, and you come up here to more, and you could just save it to PDF. Let's do this, and I'll show you why this is not a good idea. So it creates this file called profile. And at a glance, this looks kind of cool, right? Like, ooh, got 2 tones. It's like kind of maybe formatted nicely. What are some problems with this? The first glaring issue is that this is 4 pages long. Okay, the best practice is to have a single page resume, if possible. And if you really, really need to, you can push 2. But 4 is totally unacceptable. I think it's unacceptable for any reason, but once you dive into the content of these 4 pages, it becomes clear that there's a bunch of fat which is not trimmed in the profile export process. So check out this sort of like blue, gray, dark gray bar here, whatever color this is. It's just empty. It's just empty space. So it looks cool on the first page, but on all the other pages, it's improperly used. Even here on the first page, top skills, adult education. Well, I can tell you if I wrote my resume by hand, that wouldn't be my top skill. That might be on LinkedIn what I am most endorsed for, I guess. But I would definitely remove that personally. Austrian macroeconomics cert, like I'm proud of that cert. I keep it on my LinkedIn. I would take it off the resume because even though I'm proud of it, it's not a valuable signal to software engineer employers. So you can see where my LinkedIn has this superset of data, which could be interesting, but I don't want all that data on my resume because I want to concentrate the knowledge value of my resume. Thanks for the follow. By the way, if you're on TikTok, tap the screen and give it some likes so it'll send the video around. And you can also visit my bio and see the link to YouTube or Twitch where you can view the whole screen. Okay, so we know that this profile export is not great. Also, what if I want to tweak the summary? Like I can't type here. It's sort of locked in. It's tightly coupled to my LinkedIn. So we don't want to do that. Well, in Googling, we see that LinkedIn has a resume builder, which is a little less coupled in a nice way. So there's the LinkedIn resume builder. And if you access the resume builder, it still draws data from your profile. So I can click create from profile. You can see it stores different versions, which is nice. It's going to ask your job title. It's going to ensure that your job title follows like the sort of like known common titles, like spelling is correct, capitalization is correct, following LinkedIn best practices, which is going to improve your LinkedIn resume SEO, which is valuable for recruiter search. Good soup. Thank you for the likes. Thanks for being here. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff to like out of this. And some of the stuff to like out of this is in common with the profile. So I bagged on a lot of negatives about the profile, but what are the good things about the profile? One, it synchronizes your data so that I don't have to write over and over. I'm just exporting. That's great. 2, it's machine generated, so it is highly machine readable by default. In other words, it's extremely ATS friendly. It's ATS friendly. Both the profile and the LinkedIn resume builder create outputs which are ATS friendly. Okay, and then the resume builder has some additional advantages that I can go through and edit. I can add my phone number. Maybe I don't want my phone number publicly on my LinkedIn, but I do want it on my resume. Maybe I want to promote a certain website link with my LinkedIn, but then on my resume, I actually want a different link. Like maybe I want to promote my, like I have a product that I'm promoting through LinkedIn, but then when it comes to my resume, I actually want to put my portfolio or my GitHub. Or maybe I want to use a different email. You know, you can tweak it. You can tweak it. Maybe you have a dedicated email attached to your resume so that like, as one way to filter or like consolidate your job search related email activity. I can tweak my summary here if I want. If I want to have a different summary on my resume that's maybe more terse than my LinkedIn summary. And this resume builder has some useful what to write about and how to write, some useful bits here. I think there's like an AI assistant that can help you write it too, although I'm not seeing it pop up. And you can go through and you can edit your experience in a way that's decoupled. And see here, I can remove my cert. So let me delete this. Oh no, but you see it didn't impact my profile. So if I go back to my profile, if I scroll down, I still have my cute Mises Academy cert. That was really quite fun. It was really quite fun. And I think it does have value, but it doesn't have value in the eyes of tech recruiters though. And then same with like certain projects and hackathon stuff, like maybe probably I would remove my high school diploma. So I'm going to remove all these bits. All right, now let's generate and let's see what comes out the other end. This is basically what comes out the other end. I generated this earlier this morning. So what are some things that's better about this? It doesn't have the giant blue thing on the side. So that's better use of space, but it's still 4 pages long somehow. We don't have control over the style. So the margins are too big. This title, it just says John Vanderveer, like a huge John Vanderveer. I would really shrink that. I would definitely shrink it down. I kind of want to delete it. I could just include my name in the body of my summary here. But like the spacing is like, there's too much spacing and there's not font style control for size and boldness and stuff like that. As a result, it's too big. And you can see I didn't prune everything, so I could probably trim a page, but it would still be 3 pages, wouldn't it? You also have these company logos, which if LinkedIn could do this in a space efficient way, would be kind of cute, but it's not doing it in a space efficient way. I do think they're nice and eye-catching. So if I'm putting myself in the technical recruiter's shoes, recruiters want to scan the one page and they'll only spend like 15 seconds or so looking at your resume. But if you have these logos, especially a FANG logo, it will catch their eye. You'll get a few extra seconds out of that. But at what cost? At the cost of 3 or 4 pages? Not worth it. David Peterson, do you review LinkedIn profiles? Sure, I won't do that in the current stream, but come over to the Discord and I could review your profile. So visit latterly.io and the Discord is under the community. You can book an expert session, and resume and portfolio review is a standard task that I do as part of expert sessions. I can also just teach you to code, practice interviews, and more. So that's like the formal way to do it, but informally, if you message me on Discord and if I have spare time, I'll take a look. Good Soup, thanks for doing these lives. It helps a ton as a young man trying to present himself better. Much love. Thanks, Good Soup. Thank you so much. David Peterson says, where is the Discord? Yep, so I was just showing that on the community tab here. It's right there. You see the word Discord? Latterly.io. The link is in my bio, by the way. Okay, let's continue. So I want to get style control on this PDF. Well, here's a thought that I had. Here's a quick way to do this. Let me go over to ChatGPT and prompt it and say, consider the attached PDF. The best practice is to reduce the resume to take up only 1 page. Please reduce font size and 8 point to 8 point for non-headings and 12 point for headings. Also reduce the margin and spacing. So I'm just like, hey, maybe ChatGPT can do this. Well, kind of. It was able to, and now it's expired. I was able to download it. I guess the download link is expired now. But it didn't alter, it couldn't do some stuff. It couldn't alter the font size. Basically, it was able to adjust the margin around the PDF, but it couldn't do anything interior to the margin. You can see GPT, and this is with GPT-4, the advanced model with the code compiler and the bells and whistles. It says reducing the font size couldn't be achieved directly with the tools that I used. So this is where I got the bright idea. Hey, just give me the markdown. And here we're going to drop the logos. We're just going to convert it to markdown. And I'll make a Python script and I'll do it myself. Fine, I'll do it myself, that whole meme. So that's the motivation for the present stream. And we will trim some of this markdown. I'll probably cut out the AI hackathon runner-up. I'm really proud of that. Whatever, we'll play with it. We'll see if it can fit on the single page or not. But if it can't fit, I'll cut it. This I'll probably cut, or in some cases, I can easily rearrange. A few examples. Here, University of Houston, Bachelor of Science, I can inline the year. So I can have it on the same line. With all the degrees, I can basically inline the year and save several rows. Okay. And maybe like remove some of these line breaks. Anyway, we'll play around with it, but you get the idea. And this will give me a source of truth for my knowledge data, which is my own code repository, which just feels great since I'm a programmer. I understand if you're not a programmer, this could be like a super weird concept and probably like quite possibly a bad workflow. But if you are a software engineer of some sort, why not have a portfolio like a GitHub repository that's just my resume, and you version control your resume, and you can control the style directly. What are the advantages and disadvantages here? Just to remember, the main advantage is that this will be easily exported from LinkedIn, converted to Markdown, and stored. So I can basically snapshot my LinkedIn. It would be better if LinkedIn just did this themselves. If I could just directly store versions in LinkedIn, which we see I can do, but in addition, if I could have like style control, that would be better and I wouldn't be forced to do this. If there was some free or nearly free third-party tool that had a LinkedIn integration, it would be more seamless to like one-click export instead of like download the PDF, bring it to ChatGPT, convert to Markdown, store it in GitHub. There's like 3 or 4 steps you could skip. But none of these steps are particularly difficult once the repository is in place, and then you will be able to use my repository as a template. So the script will be ready, the libraries will be organized, and for you, it will just be a matter of you need to have GPT-4 to read your PDF and turn it to Markdown, and then you need to replace the Markdown and run the script. So there's a bit of setup work for me here, but for you, if this works, it shouldn't be much additional work for you. Does that make sense? David Peterson says, are you familiar with LaTeX? Yes, I am. That's actually how I got the idea here. But Markdown will be less complicated than LaTeX, won't it? So I have a bunch of tech documents because I'm a published academic. Like I have published research. So AEJ, AER templates. I have a repository called Research Dissertation Case for Alt Ed. And then I have all of these like papers. So I have a bunch of LaTeX files, but you see how much like use this package, use that package. There's a lot of complexity that we can avoid, and we can just stick with Markdown. But the concept is similar, David. That's quite right. The concept is similar, but this approach will be simpler. My version controlled Markdown resume with PDF export style control. Okay, we'll make it public. We'll add a README. Getignore will go for Python. So I'm going to be using Python in this case. And we'll use MIT Open License. All right. So let me clone this to my local. I'll open a new terminal in a new directory. Here I am in the workspace. Okay, we cloned it. Now I'm going to make sure it's added to my File Explorer. What is this called? My resume. Okay, I got it for free because my File Explorer is mapped into the workspace root. So in the terminal, I will cd into my resume. And I will touch resume.md. I could make this all caps. Maybe I should do that. That's sort of idiomatic or conventional for Markdown files. Doesn't feel like a big deal. Okay, so I'll close the others. I kind of want to set this as a poetry project, but maybe just making a requirements file would be simpler. Let me grab my Markdown. Chat, let me know if you have a preference between poetry or just straight. No, I want a virtual environment of some sort. So do I want poetry or a Venv? Let me know if you have an opinion. I sort of lean towards poetry, but it's not a big deal. So yeah, I'll go for poetry unless I get 2 L's in the chat. 2 L's in the chat, and I will avoid poetry, and I'll use an ordinary Venv. My fave project, the resume. What's up, Corner Lord? Thanks for coming in on Twitch. David says poetry is way better. Okay, appreciate the support. Let's see. I might like to leave off my phone number here. I don't know. Like, this is kind of up to you. Do you want to publish this or not? I think it'll be nice to parameterize these into an env file. So let me check my getignore and make sure that .env is already ignored. You will end up migrating it anyway. Okay, better go for poetry out of the gate then. Okay, so we'll make a .env file, and I will say phone. Maybe I'll do this with a bit of punctuation so it's a little more human readable, but will that be machine readable? We will get to the ATS and see. And yes, I realize I'm exposing my email. Feel free to send me an email there if you want. Okay. So I have my resume.md. I would like to convert this resume to from Markdown to PDF using Python, poetry, and .env. I would like my email and phone number to be interpolated from a .env file. How should, I would like to maintain control of font size and spacing. How should I proceed? Is it fine to use Markdown, or should I use HTML instead? I'd prefer not to use HTML. It feels a little more complicated. But if the Markdown style control is too elementary or inept, then we can go for HTML. Another good option is HackerRank's LaTeX template with autofill. Ooh, love that suggestion. Will it autofill from LinkedIn or do I need to write it again? HackerRank LaTeX template. Is it this thing? How do I find this thing, David? I'm all for an existing solution if it works. We'll definitely put it to the test. Bunch of LaTeX resume templates. Yeah. We can go through these. I was hoping to avoid going through a bunch of LaTeX templates and see the tool chain for each of these might be unique. I wrote mine on Notepad. Ooh, based. See, this looks quite nice. This looks quite nice. And I think 2 pages is acceptable. For me as a senior, if you're a senior or an executive, then I think 2 pages is acceptable because there really just is a lot of experience to explain. Although, projects might be trimmable and awards might be trimmable. So even this guy could be a single page. So this looks nice, but I know that I would have to completely rewrite the LaTeX for me, which I'm trying to avoid. Although GPT can facilitate that too. So you can provide a LaTeX template to GPT and say, hey, swap in my experience. David says, I met a principal engineer with 1 page. Yeah, it's possible. HackerRank.org. So let's do both. Maybe we'll go for a most upvoted existing. Is this the most upvoted? So maybe we'll look at these 2. And then let's also consider, what if it's not LaTeX, it's just a resume template? Then are we going to get into Microsoft Word documents and stuff like that? That would be terrible. But if there is HTML or Markdown, I'll be open to it. Jekyll powered, okay, maybe. Markdown, nice. React, nice. Awesome resume. It's hard to pass it up when it's called awesome, Okay, so we'll look at these. Here's awesome resume. React resume. Jekyll resume. We'll open these up. And if we have time, we'll go through and compare all of them. I would be happy to close my repository and recommend someone else if these perform well on the ATS and if they're simple to compile. This is already looking rough. Yeah, I don't want PNG overlays. So this is going to export to PNG. All right, so we'll close that. What were the 2 here? So this one and this one. So, and then we'll go find the HackerRank. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll compare mine to 5. Some healthy competition is always welcome. Do you have a way to test ATS performance? Yes, the main way is that you upload to Indeed. And if Indeed can properly parse it, that's the main test that I currently use. There are other things you can do. I've done entire streams on ATS comparison. Let's check out the Laterally blog. So I'll go to Google, site:/Laterally ATS. I'll look for the word ATS. Didn't match anything. I think the canonical is without dubs. Tracking system. Do you have anything from Laterally? What's going on, dude? Do you have anything from the Laterally blog? How about LeetCode? Okay, Am I missing the keyword ATS? There's a bit of SEO. So resume optimization. Well, here's the word ATS right here. This is it just like too small or ambiguous so Google doesn't care about that phrase? Do they have the cached version? Yeah, I don't know. Somehow Google doesn't know or like doesn't care that this mentions ATS 4 times. That's a bummer. Let me make a quick GitHub issue for that. Maybe I need to update the page meta or include the phrase applicant tracking system, like spell it out. Better SEO for ATS article. Okay. Hey, we love to find a problem because that's an opportunity. Every problem is an opportunity, right? Can we get a dub in the chat? Can we get a dub in the chat for the SEO opportunity? My HackerRank resume just got properly parsed by Indeed. I love to hear it. Let's find this magical thing. Have you found the URL for it? Obviously I know where HackerRank is, but where's okay, what? Maybe I don't know where HackerRank is. HackerRank. But where is this template? HackerRank.com. Thank you, Doe. Thanks for the dub. Okay, it's somewhere on the HackerRank website. Is it under resources? It's once you sign up available. Okay, well, I'm sure I've signed up in the past, so let's see if I can log in with my Google. But did I get an account probably as a developer? I'm not sure. Dark mode, let's go. Okay, so here's HackerRank, cool. Where would it be? So maybe it's under profile, resume, add resume. Search resume, I guess. Oh, this is not, we're gonna have to bail out of this. We're gonna time box this to 3 minutes. I'll look offline. I don't want to use up the stream searching. I thought you could actually tell me where it was. Let's see. Generate resume from HackerRank. Hacker resume, this is it, eh? Maybe. Boost your chances of landing a dream job. That's what we're trying to do, babe. Is this it? This is what we're referring to? Okay, cool. So this is the thing, and there's a couple versions. Ooh, we'll have to test both. Let me go for classic. We want to keep it classic, right? Can it import my experience from LinkedIn? Okay, so I'm gonna have to duplicate it from LinkedIn over into. That's a bummer, but if it's a one-time work, I mean, that's okay. Autofill may be premium only. I'm willing to try that out, but I don't want to sign up for premium while I'm on stream and do the payment details and stuff. But what we can at least look at the cost. So what would premium cost? David says it saves to your account forever though. So maybe you like pay for it once and you get it forever. HackerRank, $249 per month for individual. See, it's not going to fly. They removed the feature temporarily. David. All right, so we're bailing on HackerRank. HackerRank burned us once again, didn't they? Common L for HackerRank. That's why I use LeetCode. Okay. Hey, we investigated, we design thinking, brainstorm, go wide, and then eliminate. So we eliminated HackerRank, and we're zeroing in on some random GitHubs, including my own. So here's hoping that one of these is going to work. Okay. Let's reorient myself. So I have this repository, and I would like to upload my markdown. So here's my markdown. I wanted to have interpolated environment variables. And let's see if GPT-4 has a script for me. Okay. Create a new directory and initialize the poetry project. Okay, here we go. We have our TOML file now. Let's add python.env and weasyprint. Converting your markdown resume to a PDF with specific style control is a great approach. You can indeed use Markdown, but HTML would offer more flexibility in terms of styling and layout control, especially if you want to apply specific CSS styles like font sizes and spacing. Okay, so GPT-4 is like, let's use HTML. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. As long as it's ATS parsable. One of the traps that people fall into is they make a really cool looking JavaScript, React, HTML web resume. It could even have animations and stuff. It's so like captivating, right? And then the ATS can't parse it. So that is the key test. It is true that like visually HTML is a little less pleasant than Markdown. But again, we are web developers. So like this stream and this workflow is optimized for basically Latterly world. So Latterly is going to have a standard checklist to help you land your first or next programming role. And it's going to advocate a full stack development path to optimize the number of applicable job postings. Whether you're front end, back end, full stack, React, Angular, there's like so many applicable postings if you go full stack over other ways to break into tech, like breaking in through Python or PHP or Java. Full stack, you get the most job categories. And so for this like ideal site user, HTML is acceptable, basically. Even though it's a little less pleasant, it's less pleasant than Markdown, it's still acceptable. Okay. So here, I think I copied this on my clipboard. Let me just do it again just to be safe. Oh, cool. It installed a bunch of stuff for free. That'd have been a bummer if I just got hacked. Create an env file, already did that. Write an HTML file. So we'll do resume.html. Fair enough. And then I'll add to the README recommended workflow. Please don't write out the HTML by hand. That's too much work. Instead, export your LinkedIn resume Honestly, I see so many people just hiring to use the Open API. Having basic understanding of web is extremely valuable. I agree. I agree. They're both extremely valuable, right? So learn both. Don't learn either to the exclusion of the other. We call it GitHub Copilot because you should be working together. It's not doing anything for you and you're not doing anything for it. Export your LinkedIn resume built with the LinkedIn Resume Builder. Step 2, use GPT-4 or a better or a higher quality. People are going to get stuck on the phrase higher quality. Like, what's higher quality? Use GPT-4. I'll just recommend GPT-4. Okay, and if the README file gets out of date because there's GPT-5 next year, I'll update the README. Use GPT-4 to convert the LinkedIn built PDF into resume.html. Replace this repositories. It is recommended to ensure this file has no images. The HTML. It is recommended to prompt GPT-4 to build this HTML file without images. Does that make sense? I think that's clear enough. Let me know if there's like a better way to phrase that. Okay, replace this repository's resume.html with your own. Run the poetry command, which we'll call this like a poetry run main.py, or like what will we call it? Convert to PDF. How about convert PDF? How about create PDF resume.py? I think that's fine. Whatever. It's a repository. We can always make it better. All right, so then here's the Python file itself. Jinja. Oh no, we have to cancel this whole approach if it says Jinja. And we want to poetry run Python. I missed a keyword. We need Python version 3 or better. You can probably go down as low as 7, I think. Let's do 8, just because like I don't want to bother testing 7 and someone's like 7 doesn't work and I'm like, oops, I don't care. Please ensure Python refers to Python v3.8 plus. Okay. Thanks, GPT-4. You're saving us a bunch of time. Write out the full HTML file. It did this like terse comment here. We can go ahead and grab this and do a version of this build, and then we'll just update the HTML when it's ready, but we can see sort of a something here. You can see a something here. So let me poetry run Python, and I'll type CRE tab, enter. Get that autocomplete for me. I didn't poetry install, right? That's probably bad. WheezyPrint could not import some external libraries. It's mad about this. And this will be, I guess, inside of the lock file. Command F, Command V. It's not here. TOML file, Command F, Command V. It's not here. Okay. Command F, Command V. So there's some sort of, let me pip list. Did not manage to locate Go object 2.0. We got all this stuff here. I'll pipe grep. That's not good. Is it because I need to install Jinja? Jinja's not resolving. Jinja is always causing trouble, isn't it? Gingivitis, homie. Gingivitis. All right, by now we have the full HTML written out. We'll go ahead and copy it. And then I'll bug GPT-4. I think I might have just missed an install command. Does it need to continue generating? Yeah, continue generating. This is great. GPT-4 does some really cool stuff. Notice how it's like using section, where if you look at these like resume templates online, is this one? I don't mean to pick on whoever this is. So this will be LaTeX. Probably the LaTeX is going to use non-semantic tags, but like LaTeX developers don't care. Who even is a LaTeX developer? LaTeX developers are like unicorns. They basically don't exist. You have a bunch of academics mainly making LaTeX documents, and they don't care about best practices for programming. And then React resume. Let's take a look at this. I will not be surprised if there's a bunch of divs. Again, not to pick on this person. Like I have no idea who this person is. So there's a, it's well componentized at this level. So there's a page. Let's go look at the page. Is this person going to impress me? That'll be awesome. I'd love to give them a positive shout out. So here we have head. Head's a good practice. Okay, fine. So we just wrap the children. Where are the children coming from? Sections. Ooh, are we going to actually be semantic? Let's go. Or will these be called sections and they're actually not literal sections? So hero is giving red flag if that's like a hero image, like a giant image. So we'll look at hero about resume. Let's look at these three. Okay, so sections hero is a giant hero image. Resume is distinct. Oh, well, it's a capital S section. Let's look at that. Capital S section is using a lowercase s section. This, I'm allowing this. Okay, so they are using a div, but they're wrapping the div in a section. I'm happy with that. You still get a kudos. You still get a kudos, homie. T Baker X, good job. We're using styled components, the wrapping the class names. I'm not immediately sure why that's necessary, but maybe it is. You get a kudos, dude. Good job. The hero image I'm not crazy about, but maybe that's like for the website, and then the resume is only like part of the website is the idea. Resume section is a bunch of divs. Here we got like div span, skill. Where's skill? the inner of skill, divs all the way down. See, this is what I was predicting. This is not good. Should be a paragraph. Should be a paragraph. Still, I mean, there were some things I was pleasantly surprised about here. And will this be ATS parsable? Given like the structure, I'm worried it'll be parsable, but we'll test it out. Or at least I will. Maybe I'll test it out offline and give you the results later. In the meantime, let's go see GPT should have finished generating. Add other experience as needed. Don't tell me that, dude. Oh, okay. That was when it was still incomplete. That's fine. So here we have the full document now. Let me try the command again. It's still complaining. So now let's tell GPT, hey bro, WheezyPrint is not happy. I have not used WheezyPrint before. When I've done this in the past, I use Pandoc. So maybe we need to just swap out the library. These libraries are particularly tricky because they are not Python packages. Nope, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. Pango, Cairo, and so forth. So I understand that you will need some system level, like transpiler, compiler. Basically, for any of these workflows, you're going to need something like that. But I'm going to stick to one I've heard of. Yeah, so I have Pandoc installed, so we're going to stick with that. I have Pandoc on my system. I'm using, and I am on an M1 Apple laptop. Let's refactor to use Pandoc. Okay, so it's saying that I can go with the same HTML, it seems. Saying we should make a style.css. Here for the color, I'm going to do like body background green. This is like a scream test. You do something really outrageous and it should give you visual feedback. What I'm doing here is I want to check whether, that should be a semicolon, not a comma. I want to check whether this styles.css will override this stuff. So here I'm doing background green. Like, do I really need style.css at all is my question. And here I'm doing background pink. Chat, drop a color if you want a different color other than green or pink. It's your time to shine, chat. Okay, so we're altering the brew install. WK-HTML to PDF is not my favorite. It's not my favorite. Unless I already have it, then we'll go with it. Yeah, I don't already have it. I've been able to transpile Markdown to PDF without this thing. Applying the styles defined in here. Let's just do this and ignore the CSS command. Okay, that appears to have worked. It did not interpolate, so it's pretty good. We're at 3 pages, not 4. A lot of this can be improved. Look at all that header space. So we can get it down to 2 pages this way. Green flag. My string was not interpolated. That's a bummer. And I'm not seeing any of the background color. H1, what can I do that's a screen? Let's say it's not allowed to apply a PDF background color. What sort of other screen test can I do? Maybe I can color the H1s and stuff. Let's do a cooler color. Navajo white. Sounds awesome. So I'd love to avoid the WK to HTML dependency. It's not obviously effective. Let me right click and delete the file and regenerate it completely. Maybe it's having a trouble overwriting. Nope, it just looks like I cannot have style blocks in my file using Pandoc. So let's confirm that with GPT-4. I am trying to avoid dependency on WK HTML to PDF or any additional library beyond Pandoc. Is it the case that style tags inside of an HTML file are not natively respected by Pandoc? Pandoc does not support style tags, but it relies on a PDF rendering engine. Right, it's LaTeX by default. Bummerville. Okay, so the reason I didn't have to go through these hoops in the past is ironically because I was using LaTeX. And that's ironic because we were intentional about trying to avoid LaTeX. So maybe I do bite the bullet and use one of these. I would like to avoid using LaTeX given the choice between a third-party HTML rendering engine and using LaTeX. I will accept a third-party rendering engine, which is simpler between explain step by step. Explain your reasoning. And I didn't spell reasoning. Oh well, that's not going to break the prompt. The Qt WebKit thing has caused so much pain in the past. Requires several system, so it's pure Python. That's cool. Requires several system level dependencies. Yeah, so it's not pure Python. So Wheezy Print is going to not support JavaScript, which is okay. I don't want any JavaScript. Yeah, I don't want any JavaScript. The HTML document dynamic preparation can occur prior to PDF rendering. All right, fine. We'll use this thing. So I'm going to brew install it. All right. When I had problems with this, it was in a Java project. So hopefully that doesn't go as poorly now that I'm in a Python world. So we'll delete this, and we've more or less confirmed that I don't want the style block here. So we'll delete that. WK-HTML to PDF has been deprecated because it is discontinued upstream. Look at all this stuff. Did it really just install all this stuff? Despite this deprecation, it is still widely used. All right, fine. Fine. Okay, it seems like the install has gone well. So how can we test this is by using the pandoc command with the CSS flag. And then I guess I'll mention style. It's not plural, it's just style.css. We still do not have the background color respected. There's no body background green. Let's see if I missed a subcommand or something. Oh, so I just shouldn't use pandoc at all? Okay, well, that's nice. At the end of the day, we still have one dependency. So that's nice. So if we're using this file, in this command, maybe we can have the style here. Let's go get the command. Hey, not bad at all. There is the screen test. It's kind of hard for you to see because this like overlay thing is like messing with it. Here, let me tear this off. I think I can tear this off. This type of editor cannot be opened on other windows yet. Okay, that's a bummer. Let's see. How can I open this for you to actually see it? Can you shrink this window? Yeah, that works. So we see the H1 style being applied. The background doesn't look pink to me, so I think that failed. Let me confirm about the external style. There's no Navajo here. Good. Okay, so it simplifies things in some ways. I don't think it's a big deal in this use case. Maybe in the prior use case, I needed to toy with the body style. But in this use case, I don't think we need to do that. We can just presume it's going to be a white background every time. So poetry run create PDF. What I've been doing is run okay. I am now using and successfully converting HTML to PDF, but I am not interpolating with .env in a Python script. Let's integrate. So it might have me make an intermediary HTML file. That'll be fine too. It's running a sub process. Great. Great, great, great. I like that even more. Update this path. It's just going to be resume.html. And then this will be interpolated.html. And then this will be resume.pdf. No module named Jinja. So we want to poetry add Jinja. Okay. Nice. That worked bafflingly well. Here in the get ignore, I'll also get ignore the interpolated form. Okay, and my phone number has been replaced. Let's go. For science, for science. So you get the idea here. Obviously, like the final version will not use this color. We'll go revert that now. But I do think we're close enough that I can do the ATS test now. Again, I'm going to be pruning some more stuff. So here we see 1, 2. It's effectively down to 2 pages. This is like a white space page. I think there's like a line break or something, whatever. I can clean that up. If I click this, we'll be down to 2. So a lot of our mission has been accomplished. It's still not 100% polished. The summary margin top there is kind of goofy. There's some goofy bits, but we are close enough that I think you get the idea. So let me change this color back. In the README, known limitations, you cannot make the HTML body background pink. Basically, styling the HTML body may fail to transpile into PDF. Okay, so there's a known limitation. It is recommended to prompt GPT-4 to build this HTML file without images. Prompt GPT-4, let GPT-4 know that you want sensitive data how do you communicate this to GPT-4? Interpolated from a .env file, like. Optionally, let GPT-4 know that you want sensitive data interpolated from a .env file like this. Probably more people consider their phone sensitive than their email, don't you think? Ensure you have installed locally. On Mac, this is brew install. Don't worry if you see a deprecation notice on that install. My version. No, this is my version. Oh, my version controlled. My version controlled. A version controlled markdown resume. No, it's my. My actually makes sense here. My version controlled markdown resume with PDF export style control. I care about the style control so that I can comply with best practices such as restricting the resume to a single page, if possible, or like, yeah, so that I can better comply with resume best practices. Good, so I think we're in a state to do our initial commit here. Did I recompile it? Is the text? Nope. Okay, so right click, close others, up. Let's make sure the TOML is specifying Jinja. Yep. One of the reasons we love Poetry, it will add your dependencies for free. And then Poetry remove Wheezy print. We don't need that wheezy print. Do I want to force 311 or higher? I feel like it should support older Python. I'm going to say it works with older Python, and feel free to file a bug report if it doesn't. That feels like such a stupid thing to do. All right, fine. Both options here feel stupid to me. You can try it with a lower. You can try it with a lower version, but you may need to update the pyproject.toml file and reinstall, and it also might not work. Run poetry install in this repo. Cool. Now the PDF got updated. Good. All right, we don't have the Navajo off color anymore. This looks good to me. Oh, maybe the resume.pdf should also be get ignored, eh? Optional, remove from. This will allow benefit. This publishes the final form of your resume to GitHub. Cost/risk. If your resume has sensitive or personal data on it, that data will be published to the open web. Okay, so it's kind of secured by default, so we're going to ignore it, but then people can optionally enable it for themselves. So the feature here is convert like HTML resume to PDF. Cool. Now let's go over to Indeed.com and see if this thing parses or not. What are we looking for when we try to parse it? We're like Indeed ATS scan. So instant resume scan. I'll look at both of these. I forget which one is the right one. Yeah, I think this is the right one. Get instant resume scan. You click here. This is the place to be. This is the Indeed ATS scan that I recommend. And this is on the Latterly blog. I don't know what I just clicked right there. This is on the Latterly blog under resume optimization. So you can read through and see there's the resume report. You can read through all this stuff. Indeed will also completely rewrite your resume if needed. So they have that service, but don't pay for it if you don't need to. Get it checked first. So we'll update the resume with a new one. And check your resume again. How do I give you my new one? It's got like my old one stuck in there. View your profile. Employers can't find you. Yeah, I know. This thing is old, homie. Get a resume that calls employers. I'm trying to have you scan the new one. Let's go for the scanning thing again instead of resume review. Indeed, ATS scan. Oh, rescan your resume. Okay, I think this is probably what we want. Oh, before I do this, what are we looking for? We want to make sure it can register years of experience. We want to make sure it can register education level, my name, my phone number if it's there. If it's not there and it doesn't find it, that's fine. But if there is a structural problem in your resume PDF, I have seen issues such as no education detected. If you have if you have no education detected, can you see how that will create like resume filtering problems and you're going to get thrown out? People are like surprised, like my resume doesn't get any jobs. Bro, they think that you have zero education, like not even high school. No years of experience detected or incorrect years of experience detected. Also, there's like issues with like missing skill keywords, like it's not detecting certain skills that you have, or it could be incorrect employer name. Incorrect employer name. So like depending on how you like format your employer names, if there's like a line break in a weird place or like a parenthesis, or some people use like dots or like weird characters that the ATS can't parse sometimes. It might just like pick the wrong side of a string split, if that makes sense. Like the machine might read the wrong side of a delimitation of some sort, whether it's a format delimitation, a run end. So in these documents, there's the idea of a run, which is like, how do you explain what a run is? It's like a collection of characters, kind of, plus they're like styling overlays. So yeah, like for example, I worked at Amazon as a contractor. So I think I have parentheses, contract, something like that. It might just show my employer name is contract and completely miss that I worked at Amazon. So that would be one of the possible I haven't actually seen that in mine, but I've seen stuff like that in others, just to give you an illustration. Okay, let's upload a new resume. It's going to get us unlimited jobs. 6 figures, 7 figure. Let's go. Distinguished MLE at FANG with one easy trick. Is it this one? Which one is it? Oh, it's none of these because I'm looking in a new, in my workspace folder. So I want to go to my workspace folder. Here's my user home. Here's workspace, my resume, resume.pdf. That's pretty intuitive to find, right? That's another advantage of using this repository pattern is where's your resume? It's in your workspace where all your other stuff is. And it's just called resume.pdf. No parsing issues found. That's great. That was super fast. Did it really scan that fast? Total years 2.58. That's a red flag. So there was a parsing issue. Notice Indeed doesn't think there's a parsing issue, but there was. So if you're talking to some of these resume consultants, if they are not paying attention, they might say, oh, your resume doesn't have parsing issues because my report says no parsing issues. And they might be oblivious to the fact that it does have a parsing issue because the total years is off. And look, my end date for George Mason University, the end date is not found. The phone number was found. That's great. Phone number, email found, full name found. I think these are going to be easy to remedy. So like keep an eye on the repository. I'll update you if otherwise. Let's see. What time is it? I can do another 10. I can do another 10 minutes to try to fix these real quick. So let's try to fix the end date on the university. That should be pretty quick, I think. So here I'm right clicking just to give you an illustration of how I'll go in and tinker to fix this. Here. These education are non-obviously grouped. These education are non-obviously grouped. So you can see how, depending on whatever logic the ATS has, and different ATS have different logic. People don't really realize that. There's not like a singular ATS. An applicant tracking system, there are many of these and they parse differently. But by using Indeed, you're using like one of the most, if not arguably the most popular ATS. They're kind of like an industry leader in the ATS space because so many jobs are coming through Indeed. So this will be helpful, but it may not solve all the ATS cases because there are other ATSs. But you can imagine a possible parsing rule which says, oh, I found education. Let me look for the headings. Those will be the education entries. Okay, here's a heading, here's a heading, here's a heading. It catches all of those. And then it looks to the next line perhaps and finds, oh, he has the PhD in economics, he has the master's degree, but then it misses, like it doesn't look for another line for the years of experience. So we can inline it. We can inline it as one solution. Another solution is that we can group them with a subsection or a div. I think it's semantically fine to nest sections. Yeah, it's semantically fine. So I think inlining will be a win-win because it will also save me real estate on my output PDF. So it'll save me real estate. I think that's a win. Theoretically, you could do these nested sections. I can also imagine an ATS that, like, even though it's semantically fine in HTML to nest sections, maybe the ATS is still surprised by that. So you never know until you try it. But I'm going to try with the inlining approach. Okay. Whoa, oh, you know what? Actually, the ATS on my experience anyway wasn't wrong. GPT-4 just didn't place it there. GPT-4 just didn't place it there. Consider the attached LinkedIn profile export. Let's create my resume.html from scratch. Write the entire HTML file, including all of my experience. Please ignore the skill and achievement sections. Please inline the education graduation dates. Let's see, did it parse my experience dates properly? I think so. It caught them on the next line, right? Grammar suggestions. Yeah, I don't really need that. I don't really need the subject line at all, or like the subject. What is this thing? This about, I really don't need. I think I'll just remove this last block. Yeah, I think my about block is too long, basically. Please ignore the skill and achievement sections. Please ignore my, please remove my high school education entry. Inline the education graduation dates along with the subject rather than creating separate paragraphs for that data. Okay, so let's reattach a LinkedIn profile. This is my actual LinkedIn profile. This is not the LinkedIn resume. Consider the attached LinkedIn resume export. Let's go export another one. I don't know where I put the other one. LinkedIn resume builder. Maybe we can just re-download the most recent one, if that's an option. This one. Make a copy. No, I just want to download it. Preview. Okay. Can I download you? Accessible. Okay, download button. There we go. Where's my downloads? Isn't one of these downloads? Session Buddy has been upgraded. Okay. This is terrible. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go to the resume builder. Maybe I need to click on it. Wow. That preview thing didn't work out. Okay. So I'm over here. I'm attaching my, it was just downloaded. So let's sort by date modified. It's not showing up in my downloads. What is going on, bro? So I just downloaded this thing. Let's download it again, I guess. Okay, it's over here, this icon. Open this up. Here's my downloads. Date added. What about date modified? Yeah, it should be showing up right up at the top, right? So what's going on? Oh, look at that. So 1:03 p.m. So like the day-wise sort, earlier or like later days are top, but the time-wise sort, later time is bottom. That's weird, man. Okay, anyway, we got this. Unable to upload. Why? Is it because it's a duplicate name in the OpenAI workspace? That's why. Consider the attached LinkedIn resume. Let's create. Good. And I'll include this prompt in the README. So here it is, it has a heading and then a P for the experience and the date of employment, and then it has the UL. So I can imagine, so the ATS picked these up, I think. What about the education? Now we've inlined it. It inlined it successfully. You see that? There's only a singular P tag, H2P. No. This is not good. Master of Public Policy. Maybe it's fine. Okay, so it just inlined the whole thing. Subject, university, date. Subject, university, date. Subject, university, date. At least it's consistent. Let's see what Indeed does with this. This will be interesting. Maybe I'll need to rephrase the prompt. I'm not sure. Phone, I am manually changing to phone, although I wrote the prompt so that it should automate that for end users. So here we can see the HTML differences. Shrank the H2, that's kind of cool. And see, you get this like fine-grained control, which is the main thing I'm interested in. Right, now let's view the resume PDF. Look, I think it looks pretty sharp. What do you think? I think it looks pretty good. And we are near a page. If I work on it, I can probably get it to a page, don't you think? Yeah, especially because I'm going to reduce this summary. And I'll reduce this summary manually. Look, the PDF even has the sections detected. That is Encanto. Qué bueno. Yeah, so let's get this bad boy down to a page. Let's go. And I can probably shrink the top margin of the PDF just a touch if needed, but maybe it won't be needed. So let me go to my summary. Specializing in full stack development. So anything about Konnech. Oh, it trimmed it for me. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. It took out the, interesting. So I prompted it to take out the achievements and it took out the section, but it also took it out of my summary, which I'm okay with, but be careful with that. I don't know if you're okay with that. Specializing in full stack development and cloud engineering. Pushing the needle toward modern quality software and process. Open source and open research creator and consumer. I don't even know if I like that first paragraph. John brings a unique background, including a decade of software development and data analysis experience. See, really, I think this paragraph here is like good enough. If I trim that one, do I get my page? No! It seems like it got longer. Am I tripping? It seems like it got longer. That was weird. I think it's fine. I'll figure out some way to squish it. There's like real estate to be edited betwixt the lines, isn't there? Okay, let's check the parsing thing, and then I'll take it offline, and you can just rest assured that I'll take care of a little bit of that real estate later. Show me 10. 10.3. The end date still wasn't found. Okay, well, we fixed the experience. All right, I'm going to pause the stream for now. We'll end it there. We've been going for a while, but I'm very confident that I can get this resolved by the end of the day. And I'll give you an update later today. Follow the page. There's going to be 2 more streams today. I do a LeetCode lunch stream that's going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be in 2 hours. So I'm going to go take a mental break, hydrate, snack a bit, be back for that. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, today being Thursday, I do a 9 p.m. Eastern dessert stream, which is also just like on the West Coast, it's like right after work. So that's kind of the idea there. And that is sort of a catch-all tech content, open source development, maybe some LeetCode stuff. But it can be a catch-all like podcast things as well, and even soft skill development. So I'm reading through Crucial Conversations currently. Highly recommend, very good book. So that's what's coming next. Follow the page.